16.2 Techniques of Coaching. Demonstration. Demonstration is commonly done when the skill is either hard to convey through words, there is a requirement for the coach to use non-verbal communication as well as verbal due to disabilities, or they find that the group understands better through visual representation. A demonstration in sports is when a practical example is given to show how something works or is performed. For example, a football coach may want to teach how to take a goal kick, but the group of players aren't quite getting the idea from the verbal instruction. This is where the coach may switch to giving a visual representation of a goal kick. Demonstration has many advantages and disadvantages. For example, demonstration is a good and effective way to physically show the participants what you are trying to convey. For example, this could be because it is easier for the specific type of skill you are explaining, or it could even be to do with a participant with a disability needing non-verbal communication. However, if a demonstration is split into too many steps, it can become confusing for the participants because it can give too much to think about. Another advantage is that it takes time to explain and convey the information. Another disadvantage, when doing a demonstration. This can become longer if there is a large group of people because they may not be able to see. They are also harder to control when you are demonstrating. However, to do a demonstration, it doesn't cost anything and makes it easier for players to pick up because they have a visual representation as to what is expected of them in order to do the skill. In order for a coach to demonstrate the skill, they will need to be able to do it themselves. For example, if a coach was teaching a group of football players how to shoot accurately, yet they weren't able to do it, then they would be teaching the players bad habits. On the other hand, if the coach doesn't know how to do a skill, yet a participant does, they can ask them to do it so that it is done right. The ability for a group can vary, making it harder for the coach to accommodate each player. However, each skill can be adapted easier and harder so that the coach can show both ways, then let the participants choose which one they practice. Situational analysis is to do with statistics, which are viewed by an observer and recorded several ways. A basketball manager, however, may use observational analysis to determine which players they allow on each season. For example, a player may not have the right ratio of shots on target and shots missed. They may not even have the right amount of passes intercepted. A basketball manager may also use observational analysis for determining their player's position for the season and throughout. A professional may feel comfortable in one position but play better in another. The observational analysis can be recorded in several ways. For example, it can be recorded as a video where it can be freeze-framed and sectioned so that the manager and coach can break down a player's free throw, for example, and help the player improve in certain aspects of their throw instead of changing the whole technique. It can also be recorded as live, notational, and by video. On the other hand, observational analysis is objective because there is no emotions or personal feelings involved. It is based on facts. However, it can be seen as subjective because the coach and manager needs to decide whether or not the participant has been putting in 100% effort, or how they perceive the information, or even how they feel they can help the player. The manager and coaches also would like the player to be able to perform at their 100% best all the time. It outlines a player's strengths and weaknesses beneficially so that they can be improved and also praised. For example, a coach may want to work on a player's free throw, but then can still praise them on the way they read the game. Observational analysis is used to define a player's strengths and weaknesses. On the other hand, the technique is also has strengths and weaknesses if it owns, for example, of its own. For example, it's too hard to take observational analysis in notational form because there are too many things to do at once. For example, note things down and watch the player. An example of this would be when a coach is watching a specific player train with a team and note down how many free throws they do or how many interceptions in a game. Observational analysis can be useful for gathering evidence to do with a specific part of a player's game. For example, their dribbling or their three-pointers or interceptions, which can also help because when looking through pre-recorded evidence of the player's performance, the coach may find other areas of improvements, as well as what they were looking at before, or may even find an area to praise them on that they may not have noticed before. Positioning is a big part of a coach and manager's job because they want and need to ensure that their players are in their strongest position. This means that the coach might watch the players during training and record them later for later use and see what they do best. For example, a player who once played as a centre might be best suited as a power forward because they are better at being under the hoop and are able to operate in the wings and corner areas. A player will also feel more natural playing in a position that best suits them because it can give them more confidence than they had before, because they feel better at it, as if it's not as hard. Goal setting. Goal setting is usually set by athletes or people so that they can have a long-term and short-term motivation. A smart goal can help to organise the athlete's time and sources so that they can make the very most out of their ability or goal. Goal setting is the process of identifying something that you want to accomplish and establishing measurable goals and timeframes. A time goal, which refers to short-term and long-term goal, for example, to hold the opponents at 12 points or fewer per quarter, and a long-term goal could be to do with winning the state championship. Goal setting can be used to achieve so many different types of results. For example, some people may use a goal to lose weight or to reach a certain distance quicker than they have done before to improve their performance in a game situation. For example, Usain Bolt would have set himself a goal to reach a certain time in the 100-metre sprint, meaning he practiced it every day, increasing his reaction time and speed. A goal can help motivate an athlete to reach their target by allowing them to see their progression by setting little short-term goals in order for them to keep motivated to keep going towards their end goal. Goal setting can come with pros and cons. A positive about goal setting is that it gives a clear focus of what the athlete is setting. The goal of what the athlete setting the goal would like to achieve. For example, a basketball player might want to become captain. On the other hand, goal setting can also give a sense of failure because the athlete may not have achieved a short-term goal, causing them to feel bad and give a negative effect on their performance, increasing that sense of failure. However, they could take the short-term goal miss as a motivator and begin to do better depending on the athlete. Some athletes also find that they are pressurised into making goals they didn't want to necessarily set by other people, such as their coaches or managers, which can also give a negative effect on them because they won't feel motivated towards the end result because it's not their result, it's the coach's. Goal setting can also give a peace of mind because when the goal is set, then the athlete doesn't have to think too much about what they have to do because they have pre-organised themselves. They will also receive clarity when it comes to decision making because they won't have to do it they won't have to make the same decision every time they go to the gym or go to training, because they will know what their end goal is, so they will just do things to increase their progression towards the end goal.